Good morning, my name's Danny and I'm going to talk to you about the Bitspower flow indicator. Initial thoughts about the packaging is that it's quite cheap. The only instructions are on the back. I wish there were more instructions to tell you how to install it correctly or properly, or what the additional accessories were for, but that's not to be. Anyway, it's just packaging, and so long as it's reached me undamaged, then the packaging has done its job. Inside the box you get a 3-pin fan cable which plugs into the back of the Bitspower flow meter and then into a spare fan header on your motherboard, allowing you to monitor the RPMs. You also get, of course, the Bitspower flow meter itself, which is actually quite solid, well-made piece of kit. You also get a bag containing 2 flow conversion components, which I'll talk about in a moment. On closer inspection, however, I did notice a couple of things that I wasn't really happy about and didn't expect. I mean, if you shake it, I don't know if you can hear that, but there is a slight rattling of the paddle inside. This begs me to think that when you're pushing water through it, that it may start to rattle. Also, looking at the input pipes, there is some rough edges on the plastic. I would suggest that you'd flush this thing through with water before you start using it, just to flush out any bits and pieces that may be left from the manufacturing process. Now, as part of the package, you get a couple of accessories. These are small rings and each have different internal diameters, and you're supposed to put these inside the in pipe of your Bitspower flow indicator, and they're supposed to, I suppose, adjust the flow rate of the water in your indicator to either speed up or slow down the paddles, but don't quote me on that because I'm not exactly sure. So that's it. That's a quick short review of the Bitspower flow indicator. So I'm going to stick it in my machine and see what it looks like. So here it is. I've installed it in my machine. I've had actually no problems with the installation. Some people have reported leaking, but I've not had any leakage whatsoever. I also didn't include the accessories, partially because I think they weren't actually needed in my case. So yeah, I'm actually very happy with it. There are a couple of caveats, and one of the things I mentioned earlier in the video is that if you shook the thing, it would actually rattle, and unfortunately it does rattle when water's flowing through it. Now, it doesn't do it all the time, but it does it when my motor is running at a high speed. Now this, I've only had a look at one sample, and this may be specific to my sample, or it may be common to many samples, but the good thing is that it's very, very slight, and it doesn't affect me at all. Some people may actually return the product if they hear rattling inside, but I'm quite happy with it, actually. I just thought I'd show you as well that now that I've connected my Bitspower to my motherboard via the 3-pin cable that was supplied, I can now see my revolutions per minute. This is actually a good indicator of how quickly the water is flowing around your system, and to me it's more of a relative thing. So if I pop into this one day and I see that the speed is half, that I know that there's either a blockage in my system or my pump is failing. So I suppose that can be quite useful for those sorts of things. Coming to a conclusion, the Bitspower flow indicator does its job, and it's been designed to give you a visual representation of water flowing through your system. Now, this, in my opinion, it does very well. I can just twist my head and have a look at my machine, looking through the window, and I can see this little thing spinning around and proving to me and making me feel a bit more comfortable that nothing is actually broken down in my water cooling system, and this is the job that it was designed for. One of the things that I was slightly disappointed with was that in my sample anyway, there was a slight rattle when water's flowing through it. Now, I don't know if this is common to all Bitspower flow indicators, or it's just happens to be mine seems to be a dodgy sample, but that was the only major mechanical issue I had with it. The other thing about the actual design itself, that there were no mounting holes or connectors on this, so it basically has to stand in free space, which I think reduces its flexibility quite a bit. So, all in all, would I buy this thing again? Yes, I would. I think it's reasonably well made. It's been in my system for a few days now and there's been no leaks. It hasn't stopped spinning. So I'll give it another 3 months and see how it goes. But no, I'm quite happy with it.